Hello there, I'm Dana Jean Antonelli, etiquette consultant. If you're new to my channel, welcome. In this channel, I provide you with tips on modern etiquette, manners, personal development, and really anything that can help you become the best version of yourself. If you're a returning viewer, I'm happy to welcome you back. Now for today's video, I will be covering wedding etiquette, but I've decided to make this a two-part series. So for today, we will be covering wedding etiquette for the bride and groom to be, and then for my next video, it will be for the guests. I know weddings can be exciting and also overwhelming at the same time, but practicing good manners and proper etiquette are essential to make the most out of the big day. With that said, let's get to it. Announcing the engagement. When you get engaged, it's very important to call or text families and friends first before posting on social media. Now I know from my experience, one of my close cousins, she got engaged, but then she started doing, all her bridal stuff like shopping for the dress, and she just posted those things and didn't invite me. I thought we were close enough to involve me in her special day. It was kind of hurtful to find that out through social media and that she practically didn't involve me with anything for her wedding, which is okay, that's her decision, right? Always call or text your families and friends first before posting on social media. So another part would be perhaps planning an engagement party. This is completely optional and it's up to you, but it's always nice to plan a party to celebrate with your close friends and family about your recent engagement. Setting the date and guest list. You want to decide on a wedding date and start creating a guest list of people that you may want to invite to your wedding. You also want to consult with both sets of parents to see if they want to invite friend or family that they've known for so long and want to celebrate your big day with you. You also want to be mindful of budget constraints and venue capacity when you are inviting a guest. You certainly don't want to invite 200 people when the venue can only fit 100. Wedding invitations and save the dates. Now you want to send out save the date cards or emails about 6 months prior to the wedding. And then for your wedding invitations, you want to send those out about 6 to 8 weeks before the wedding. And you want to include important details, the date, the time, the location, the dress code, and RSVP information. Dress code and attire. Now, this is really important to stress because you want to give those details along with your invitation to your guests. This way, they're not going crazy trying to figure out what to wear. So if you decide that you want it to be black tie or formal, just put that in your wedding invitation. Makes it easier for the guest. But you also want to think about the venue. So perhaps if it's an outdoor venue, you don't really necessarily want to make it a formal. Perhaps make it like a garden party themed. Wedding registry and gifts. Now, when you're creating a wedding registry, you want to set different price points for your guests to choose from. Not everyone can afford an X amount of pots and pans to gift you. So, you just want to be mindful and respectful of your guest's budget. You also don't want to add that into your invitation. You want to rely on word of mouth or perhaps add it into your wedding website. Really rude to tell your friend, hey, here's my wedding registry, make sure to get me something. Just rely on word of mouth. And believe me, if your friends or family can't find your registry, they will ask you. Wedding ceremony etiquette. So you want to hire an officiant that has the same religious and cultural background that you have. You want to think about your wedding rehearsal. Plan it a day or two before the wedding ceremony. This will give you time to practice the actual ceremony and the flow of it. And also plan a dinner for your bridal party just to thank them for their participation in your wedding. Now let's talk about wedding ceremony seating arrangements. The first row is always dedicated to immediate family, and the rows after that for everyone else. Now you want to greet and mingle with your guests during the reception and of course thanking them for attending your big day. Now you want to also plan a seating arrangement during the reception that can encourage your guests to interact with one another, perhaps someone that they've never met before, but of course they're here attending your wedding because they have you in common. And you want to share your first dance and a toast to your guests, thanking them for their presence on your big day. Handling wedding finances. You want to clearly communicate with your parents to see what they can contribute into your wedding day. I know not everyone can contribute X amount of money, but it's important to have clear communication with both sets of parents. You also want to keep track of expenses. You never want to go over budget. The last thing you want to do is order X amount of flowers and that's going to cost you extra $25,000. Doesn't make sense. That's how much a car would cost. And you also want to make timely payments to your vendors because again, the last thing you want is come your wedding day, your flowers didn't arrive. And that's just gonna suck. Now you wanna designate a hashtag for your wedding. I know when I got married, we had a special hashtag and it was really fun to just click on that and see other people's posts. So you wanna encourage your guests to use it. You also wanna request your guests to maybe refrain from posting that exact time of your wedding, maybe post an hour or so, just so you never know who's following them. Perhaps, a psycho ex would show up out of nowhere because they figured out where you're getting married, and that's really the last thing you want to happen. Thank you notes and post-wedding gratitude. You want to send handwritten notes as soon as the wedding is over. You do have 3 months after the wedding, but I suggest do it as soon as possible so that way you just get it out of the way. It's better for your guests to receive the letter as soon as possible. And make sure to thank your parents if they did help out, and also consider hosting a post-brunch party the next day for people who attended your guests who may have traveled from out of town, especially also your bridal party. And there you have it, wedding etiquette tips for the bride and groom to be. I hope you enjoyed this video and found this educational. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comments section down below. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.